When you start living with the end in mind, everything starts to change. What are people going to say about you? What message is your life going to speak when you're long gone? Because you weren't born by accident. You didn't just happen to be where you're at and happen to watch this video. There is always a reason.
Welcome to the Fuse Life podcast. This is episode 151. We are moving. A lot of great episodes planned. What you're going to notice is I'm doing some by myself, which are personal development, inner work, what does personal development look like in the kingdom? How do you upgrade yourself? I am more into training than teaching and more into helping you execute than just learn knowledge that means nothing. So we're turning knowledge into mileage here. And then you're going to see some podcasts with me and different guests with different stories, all kinds of different walks with God. And we're going for it. So I've had some amazing shifts happen for me, especially this year, learning how much I don't need to care about things that the world is constantly throwing at me. So let me throw this in here before we start, right? When I first started going online and I first started online business, I automatically thought that more views, more people exposed to my stuff, more content that everybody likes was the way to build. And over my last few years, like we had a period of 6 months where we had an organic reach. So there's no paid advertising, organic reach of 3.2 million. And I was like, wow, that's a big reach. Thousands of people watching the videos, but that did not translate to transformation. I started to see that there's a lot of people that just love to say, amen, amen, bless you, amen, bless you, brother. And then obviously the occasional religious person from another religion comes in and is like, Jesus is not the real God, and then the atheist comes in with the memes. And very quickly I started to see, I don't need to be viral. I don't need lots of views. That 3.2 million reach meant nothing because it didn't lead to transformation. And I'm getting somewhere with this, so stay with me. That was part of the programming that was put into my head just from being around social media. That somewhere I was like, oh, we need to have lots of views. And so if you are someone that's starting online, listen to me. You don't need lots of views. You don't need lots of people. You don't need lots of followers, right? You don't need lots of fans. You need the ones who are going to do something with what you have to carry. Those ones are going to find you. And you can get out of the numbers game, right? So this year, I've watched someone that I'm coaching and a good friend. I've watched his social media blow up. I watched his Instagram blow up and all the comments he has to deal with and stuff. I was watching that and I'm like, you know what? I don't want none of that. I'm enjoying a lifestyle that is so good, right? It's challenging, it's rewarding, but it's on my design. And I started to see all the comments he's having to deal with. I'm like, I don't want any of that. So for some of you guys, if you have pre-programmed yourself to think success requires something, you might want to check what that requirement is, because that might not be true. And while in my early days, I thought I need more people in an email list, I need more people that are going to comment and like, and more people, I started to see actually smaller groups have people that actually want to transform, and they actually do coaching, they actually do training. So it's better for my business and it's better for them because they get more attention and we all win. So I threw that in there. I don't know why. If you're watching this and you're building an online space, remember what I said. You don't have to learn the hard way. Forget the big numbers. Concentrate on value, on content, deliver good stuff, show up consistently. That's what you're going to see with me on my page, right? And be there for the tribe you are called to. We are not all called to every tribe. And I'm going to go more into that in a few weeks. There is a thing called Kingdom Influence Mentorship that I did last year. I'm going to do it again. And that may help you if you're building a tribe. But for today, we are going into the subject of why is it so hard to change? Why is change so hard? Now, as a coach, a lot of my time goes into helping people transform. And I would like to say it this way, I'm not actually helping them transform into someone else. I'm helping them transform into who they were always supposed to be, but the programming of life, the programming of culture, the programming of society robbed them of the greatness that they carry. Right? So one of the inheritances you and I get to leave to our kids is a way of thinking. It's a way of life. It's a way of approaching life. It's a way of looking at every element of life. And it's a great gift. Like my children, I have an 8-year-old, 6-year-old, soon to be 4-year-old, and these kids have not grown up in a traditional churchy setting. They've not grown up in a traditional Bible, like Bible school, not Bible school, Sunday school setting, right? So they have their own kiddie Bible. They love Jesus. They have encounters with God. They ask questions about God. We go to occasional Sunday school service when we're in different places with family. But they have learned how to walk with God in such a simple way. For them, hearing from God, walking with God, obeying God is part of their natural process now. Like condemnation is something they will never have to fight, like I had to fight. The fear of God not loving them or not being there for them or not being there with them is something they never have to deal with. And that is inheritance I get to pass on to my kids. I was looking at them operate, and there's some of the things they were saying about interacting with God and interacting with heaven just blew my mind, because some of their stuff was not what they were taught. But because inside their operating system, in their heart, they know they can connect with their Father in heaven so easily, everything else is just flowing out of that. And that's an inheritance we get to give. So the first reason I want to bring across to you why it's so hard to change is because we have been programmed, pre-programmed for certain things. And one of those things is that change is hard, that change is scary, that change is not normal, that change is somehow going to be this big issue. We've been programmed with that. Right? Now, I'm not disagreeing with you that when you are transitioning somewhere, when there is change, you are saying goodbye to the old and hello to the new. But we have in our mind been programmed about what that process is. And for most people, that's so overwhelming, they don't even want to go there. I'll give you some examples. Now, I was a personal trainer for about 8 years. I love the gym, been in the gym a long time. I like that kind of pain. Okay. I like that kind of training, resistance training. When you get to the 10th rep, the 12th rep, and it's burning, and your inner victim is like, you can stop now, quit. And you learn how to shut that voice down and let the victor come out. I like that process. I like the last few reps, and you need your partner to come and spot you. Otherwise, you're not going to finish that rep. And I like that I can go, rah, right? A little bit of grunting is always good, but I like that, right? My programming likes that. But when I started personal training and I'd get clients come in, there were so many that never liked that phase. And I noticed that when they would first start training with me, they were really, really afraid of that. They were afraid of the pain. They were afraid of the challenge. And as I unpack that with them, a lot of times there was a fear, right? And what's the fear? The fear of failure, the fear of getting hurt, the fear of becoming too big and musty. A lot of ladies I trained thought that if they lift heavy weights, they're going to get big. It's not true. If you want to get big, you eat big to get big, okay? You can lift big and not eat big and be very lean. That's for someone out there in the back. But this mindset, so the pre-programming, some people go into the gym and their pre-programming is, I just need to sweat. But just because you sweat doesn't mean you had an effective workout, right? You can sit in a room where it's really hot and you're going to sweat. There are certain things you have to learn, but the pre-programming affects everyone. So I've watched my clients come and they learn how to lift weights. They learn how to push through. They learn how to build muscle. They learn how to conquer some of their old fears, and their programming changed. And I remember one lady who was a mother of 2 at that time, stay-home mom. She came, so much changed for her. She brought her friend. And I watched as she was helping her friend now deal with the same pre-programming that she had. So why is it so hard to change? Because you have been programmed. a certain way. Now, what do you mean by programmed, Joseph? All right, if you look at what's going on in your mind, they will tell you that 90% of how you make your daily decisions, 90% of how you react, respond to everything around you is happening from your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind. That means this is happening without you thinking about it. It's like if you imagine your brain like a CPU, like a computer, okay? And you've programmed your subconscious and your unconscious by what people have told you, by the things you noticed in the world, by what you learned at school, by all the knowledge you accumulated. You've programmed yourself. And so we have been designed to live from our programming. That is why when you reprogram yourself, victory becomes your norm. Breakthrough becomes your norm. At some point, when you reprogram yourself, your new habit becomes your old habit. Like there was a time where going to the gym might not have been a habit for you. But as you rewire that in your mind, your now what used to be your new habit of going to the gym becomes your old habit. And so your wiring, if you are living 90% of the day from your subconscious, unconscious mind, it would make sense to learn how to reprogram that, wouldn't it? Let me know if you're following what I'm saying here. And so if you can reprogram your thinking, what used to be scary for you is now normal. Have you ever seen people get on mountain bikes and they go down these slopes and it's freaky as watching them jump, or on ski slopes? And you watch people jump off a building, you watch people walking on a tightrope, you watch people abseil down things. And these are things that would be scary for someone who's been pre-programmed a certain way. Now, should everybody be jumping off these things? No, but I'm just telling you that if you were to rewire your programming, that same activity would change its grip on you. And so you understanding you have been programmed in so many ways in your relationships, what you're like with people, what if you're a female, what you're like with males, right? What you're like with other females, what you're like with mother figures. If you're a male, what you're like with other men, what you're like with around women, what you're like around your parents. There's so much programming that goes on. And so the reason change is hard is because a lot of our programming has been faulty. So now when you come to God, God invites you to get everything you are trying to get from yourself. He's inviting you to get from him, right? Where before self-love was you having to conjure out some kind of love for yourself. Now you can receive his love, and that love will help you love yourself. Okay. Everything that you need. So what is some of the current programming? And I want to go through some of this, and hopefully this will help you think about your own life. Okay. Our current programming right now is based around comfort. We love to do things that feel good, right? Let me know if you agree. But we've been trained to do things that feel good. Now, it's really interesting watching the UFC. I don't know if you know what the UFC is, Ultimate Fighting Championship. It's like MMA, and you watch these different athletes. They go into a cage and they beat the heck out of each other, and it's intense. But there are these guys that have shown up from Dagestan, okay, from Russia, and these guys, their training is so ruthless, including one of the guys who trained and wrestled with bears. Okay, their training is so normal for them to be uncomfortable that now they are learning to become more and more comfortable in the uncomfortable. So the fact that you and I were designed to be creatures of habit, creatures of comfort, creatures who like security, creatures who like safety. These are all good things. But for most of us, the design is not matching up to the daily life. So what I mean by that is, if you look at the things that are going on in your life, do you like the outcome? Now, if you say to me, Joseph, I love the outcome, I'm killing it in every area of my life, like I'm pushing boundaries, I'm running with the Lord, boom, it's on, then congratulations. You may not need to watch the rest of this podcast, right? Have an awesome day, awesome evening. I love you. Come to the next one, maybe. Right. But if you're looking at things in your life and you're like, I actually don't like the outcome of that. I don't like why I do that. I don't like why I reject people because I'm scared they're going to reject me. I don't like that I'm so scared to write a book or put a video out and share my message. I don't like that I'm so afraid to tell my siblings what I really think, to tell my parents what I really think. I don't like that at church, I pretend to be someone so that I'll be liked, because I'm sure that if they really knew me, maybe they won't like me. Right? If you are like that and there are things in your life and you're like, I'd like those things to change, then we have to look at the programming. We have to look at the programming. Okay. So we're creatures that are programming right now. Comfort, number one. Feel good. How does it feel? Is it pleasurable? Does it give us a dopamine hit? Does it give us some kind of a feel good chemical inside us, right? We're ruled by that. Social media, the blow up of social media is evidence of that. Another thing that's in our programming is fear. We give a lot of room to fear. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of success, fear of the actual change, right? We're programmed with that. So this is why a small percentage of people actually pursue their dreams. A high percentage of people will never pursue their dreams because we've been pre-programmed with that fear. So another thing I could say to you is attachment. We've been programmed to get attached to things. We get attached to people, right? Friend circles, friend groups. Sometimes we won't even move suburbs because of the people that are around. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I'm just saying we've been programmed to be attached to people, to places. We get so attached to a country. We get so attached to a suburb. We get so attached to a school. We get so attached to a job, university, whatever it is. But we get attached to things, our attachment, and that's part of our programming. We get attached and we make it a habit and we're really scared to move on. So when I look at the way God led people in the Bible, when I look at all of his promises, I see constant movement. When I see Jesus finds the disciples, and the first thing he does is he's like, all right, follow me. Why does he say? He didn't say, sit with me. He didn't say, come and have dinner. He said, follow me. What is that? Follow me is I'm going somewhere. We are moving. I'd like to submit to you that God's design for your life was that you would move. Not necessarily that you move places all the time, but you will at some point. Not necessarily that you move people all the time, but you will at some point. Right? But you were designed to move. And many times you hear Jesus as the disciples want to settle in. You will hear him say, we got to go here now. For this reason I came. Okay, we got to go here now. For this reason I came. Revealing that he is not so attached to places and people and things that he's not going to fulfill his calling. I have watched people be so attached to their places and their people that they've ignored their purpose. I've watched people get so attached to their job, a way of life, that they have canceled out their purpose. They don't have room to follow what God is saying because they're so attached to stuff. All right. So this pre-programming that we all have of comfort, fear, and being attached unhealthily. These three things. I want to go into some of these things, okay? Because if you can start to, in your own life, practice your way out of this, and I'm going to go into solutions as I finish the podcast. If you can practice your way out of this, you will find that your life is going to pick up momentum, which is a word I see one of you put on here. And that word momentum is a very powerful word. Most people that you are looking at today, and you look at their life and you go, man, they look like they're crushing it. They look like they're killing it. They're doing awesome. It's because they have built so much momentum. You cannot produce today what they have built momentum to produce for years. So what do? You just start building your own momentum. You start building your own momentum. So let me start with the comfort. Okay, we've been pre-programmed for comfort. I'd like to submit to you that there is actually no such thing. like the comfort zone theory is actually, it's a lie. When people go, I'm in my comfort zone, you're not actually in your comfort zone, because deep down, you are never truly fulfilled when you're not operating in your divine design. No matter how happy an eagle is in my home, I can get an eagle, make it a pet, and no matter how happy that eagle is in my home, I'll give it the best food it wants, the best environment it wants. I'll give it everything it needs and love. But no matter how much I give that eagle, if it's not in the fullness of its divine design, it is never truly fulfilled. And its divine design requires it to fly at heights, to be in environments way beyond my home. And this, in a way, is how I see a lot of the church, by the way. Right? There are some things I might be able to give this eagle, but at some point, this eagle is like, hey, man, I need to spread my wings. I need to train my sight. My sight was designed for me to see hundreds of feet down. I need to train my muscles. I need to train my capacity, and it cannot happen in this room, which means this eagle can never be fulfilled here. And I could give it all the comfort. I could give it all the security. I could give it all the attachment. But deep down, that eagle knows it was not designed for this place. I don't know if you've ever watched Madagascar, but we watched Madagascar the other day. My children are watching Madagascar. And Alex the lion, who's groomed in a zoo. Alex the lion, rah, rah, who poses for people and gets photos and has his steak handed to him on a plate, is now in the wild. And after 20, 30 days in the wild, there is a scene where suddenly you see Alex the lion try and bite the butt of his best friend, who's the zebra. And he's got his teeth sunk into his friend's butt. He's about to bite because the divine expression of this lion is starting to find its form. So the comfort zone theory does not exist. We were never designed to be stationary. So we were designed to find comfort, to live in comfort, but we were never designed to find that comfort from our place and our people. Are you with me? And you'll start to see that the 3 or 4 things that I'm hitting of how we were designed, actually, they're all robbing you of the place that God truly should have in your life, in your original design. I was not designed to find my comfort in where I am, in who I am with. I was designed to find my comfort in Him, because in Him, I find me. And as I find me, everything else falls into place. I was never designed to find my comfort in my performance. I was never designed to find my comfort in how safe a thing is. I was designed to have security, but I was designed to get my security in Him. You see, everything that we've been programmed to live by is true, because we can't live like for example, there is a design, okay, that I get to breathe in and breathe out. But if I breathe in some crazy chemicals, I can die. So God gave me the ability to breathe, but what am I breathing? God gives you this desire for security, but what are you finding your security in? God gives you this desire for comfort. What are you finding your comfort in? Right? God gives you this design of love, but fear, which is the total opposite, is trying to make a home and has made a home in all our programming. And so this comfort thing, if you're with me and it's making sense, let me know. You were designed to get your comfort in Him, not in the stuff. And so a lot of times people will pray, God, I want more. I want more of you, more of what you have for me. And He starts to shake things up. Why? He starts to reveal to you that your comfort has been in the home. Your comfort has been in this relationship. Your comfort has been in your actions, in a behavior. It's not been in Him. And then we learn, we practice how to get it from Him, okay? The next one, fear. And that's why people love security, because of fear, right? This fear that, what if I try this and it doesn't go right? What if I'm making the wrong decisions? That's a massive one for many Christians. As I've coached people in the last 4 or 5 years, that's been the biggest fear. What if I get it wrong? What if I get it wrong? My Bible says that his perfect love casts out all fear. Casts out all fear. So while it is good that I can recognize the fear, what am I going to do about it? And sadly, most people are programmed to put their fear in a pocket where it can still operate, but it's not so obvious that it irritates them. So it's almost like we pretend we don't have it. I'll put it in a pocket where I can pretend I don't have it. But every day I live by it. My fear is screaming loudly. Okay? So that fear, God has given us a perfect love to eradicate all that fear. And I'll talk about it in the solution soon. The last thing, attachment. I wasn't designed to be attached to stuff. While God gives me the gift of attachment, while he gives me the ability to be attached, I wasn't designed to be attached to all these things above him. I wasn't designed to be attached to all these things at the expense of my attachment with him. And so you'll start to see this programming is all part of God's design, and it's just been focused in, we've been trained in the wrong thing. So when you become someone who finds their comfort in him, you're mobile, you're free. It never changes, because on your good day or bad day, in terms of your experiences, it's always a good day because your comfort's in him and he's good. He never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever. Everything else in your life is subject to change, except for who he is. Except for who he is. Everything else is subject to change. And so the comfort, the fear, and the attachment to things, you can start to see how these three things they've programmed us to not need him, not let him into those spaces. So it's really hard to change because we get programmed into that kind of thinking, that kind of mindset. Hopefully you're understanding what I'm saying here. So I want to give you some solutions on how you can be somebody that just embraces change. I want to give you some solutions so you can be a person that just goes from glory to glory to glory to glory, from faith to faith, strength to strength, that you don't become a person that you do well for a little while, and then when things go well, you try and find your comfort in what's going well. You find your security in what's going well, right? You keep your fear in what's going well, and you get attached to what's going well. And then you wait till things go crappy before you get back into him again. How many people you know like that, who they start doing well with the Lord, things are going great, and they slowly put their comfort not in him anymore, in something else. They start attaching themselves to something else. They start to get their security from something else, and they wait till it goes bad. And it's like glory to hoary, to glory to hoary, or glory to bad, glory to bad, glory to bad. But you weren't designed to do it. You were designed to go from glory to glory to glory. So learning how to leave something good for something better, it requires you to get your comfort from him, to be attached to him, to let his perfect love cast out all your fear, to get your security in him, to go from glory to glory to glory to glory. You cannot be programmed the way the world likes to program us, because it's too scary to let go of good unless you really understand that you're leaving good for something better. Okay? So let me start here. First solution is that the things in your life that you're like, yeah, I get my comfort there. I've made that my security. I've attached myself to that. To acknowledge the pain of what that is causing you, right? Like I've met people that are so scared to tell people how they feel that they'll say something like, oh, it's okay. It's okay. I just won't say anything. And what you don't realize is the inner you, like the inner Joseph, when I act like that, I am training the inner me, or me, I'm training myself to think that I'm not important, that pleasing everybody else is more important than me, that I'm not important. I can sacrifice myself. And by the way, this is not happening out of love and freedom. This is happening because I'm not worthy. So why should I say anything? Keep my mouth shut. Don't challenge anybody. Don't bring up what I really think. Let me just try and be what I think everyone needs me to be, so I don't cause any ripples and they will love me. And I start to train myself. Hey, you don't matter. You don't matter. You don't matter. And I don't even realize that I'm doing that. So when you start acknowledging the pain, you might start to see, actually, me not being myself has caused me a lot of pain. Like I became everything they wanted me to be in their group, and still they rejected me. I became everything I wanted to be in that relationship with that guy, with that girl, and still it didn't work out. So why did I even never allow myself to be me? When you start acknowledging the pain, most people have numbed their pain. So the first solution is to start getting real about your pain, the pain of what your lack of change is causing you. People that have offense, bitterness, problems with people in their family, right? Who can't go into certain rooms because certain people are going to be there. That kind of change. The fear of other people's opinions is a big one. And if you can't see what it's cost you, right? Because when we leave this planet, if we get to review our life, we will see how much some things have cost us. They've cost us things we never wanted to pay. They've cost us things we've never wanted to pay. Now, some people, right, were called to write books that would save lives, but these lives were never saved because the books were not written, and the books were not written because the person was too scared of people's opinion. It's so interesting, this people's opinion thing. Okay, I'll just quickly share something with you. I had an experience with somebody when I released a course, and their response to me on the course, and then all these other people that liked it. But I was meditating on this one person not liking my stuff. So I went on Amazon and I started to look through all the best books. You can do this if you want, right? I went and looked through all the best books, the books that I thought, man, you're an amazing author, you're an amazing, great book that you wrote. And they all have these 1-star reviews. And I was like, why would someone give this book a 1-star review? And I went into some of them, and some of them had 2 pages of a review, a 1-star review. And I was like, what makes a person, firstly, buy a book from someone else based on their assumptions, and then read this book, make up their mind on it, and go onto that person's page to write a 2-page review that probably took them ages, right? To vent whatever they're venting out. It just blew my mind that every book has a 1-star rating. Okay, your Bible probably has 1-star ratings all over the planet. And so very quickly you learn that everyone has an opinion. They're allowed to have an opinion, but you were never designed to move by other people's opinions. So acknowledging the pain of how you are living, what it has cost you, will actually help you move. Now, one of the things for me, okay, is that the fears that I have, and I have some fears that I am slowly moving through myself, right? Like swimming in a deep ocean. Now, I can paddle my way like the best of the paddlers. I can swim a little bit. I'm not a strong swimmer. But when I go into deep ocean where my feet can't touch the ground, there is some kind of fear there for me, right? So I'm watching my children take on so much of my nature because of the time we spend together. And as I've been raising them, I've come face to face with, I don't want my kids to have this fear. And it's caused me to then start to deal with the fear in me. When you start acknowledging the pain and how you have affected your kids. Do you know how many mothers I have met who have had crazy relationship histories, right? Crazy relationships in their past. And then they watch their child go through the same pattern. Because your children become who you are. You reproduce who you are, not what you know. Your teaching is great, but your being is more important because they are learning from you via osmosis. So I've watched women who have been in abusive relationships suddenly see their daughters go down the same path, right? And the things, like if they were to acknowledge the pain of their lack of development, your love for your daughter will cause you to deal with the pain because you can see the pain going on and it's being passed on. I'm just giving you some examples. Same with men. Same with men looking for affirmation from their dad that they never got. And so the men set out to prove themselves to get this father who only gives insults to maybe one day give a compliment. And now they're watching the pattern in their child. I was coaching someone. I was like, hey, man, do you hug your kids? Oh, yeah, my daughter. Yeah, my sons. Why don't you hug your sons? It's just not normal. Why don't you hug your sons? Oh, well, no one ever hugged me. My dad didn't hug me growing up. Like, oh, okay, is that the pattern you're setting? You see, they don't acknowledge the pain. So that's your first solution. If you're willing to acknowledge the pain, it's going to make the change process easier. Now, the pain's still there, but you walk through that, it makes it easier. And once the pain is gone, it doesn't come back, guys. Okay. So that's the first thing. Acknowledge the pain. Second thing, get around people that are constantly changing. Get around people that don't set limits. Get in atmospheres, get in groups, get in mentorships where you are challenged to move to the next step. The same thing that causes someone to run away, because a lot of people run away from accountability, ownership, responsibility. They run away from people that make them better. You know, most of the people that make me better, they annoy me too. I annoy a lot of people, but most people who make me better, they annoy me too, because they say things, they ask me things, they pull me to a standard that is higher than what I'm at. And you need to be around people like that. It will make your process, your journey easier. Okay, get around people. So that's number 2. And then last one is that you would practice your change with simple steps. This is a big thing that I've learned, even training other people who want to do coaching, want to do mentoring, people who want to do discipleship, that I've had to train people to understand, hey, you got to move by small steps, but small steps taken consistently lead you to big places. Small steps taken consistently lead you up big mountains. So how do you design your small steps? Now, I've met a lot of people who say, I want to lose weight, and the first thing I'm going to do is run a marathon, and I'm going to get on this cabbage soup diet, and they go so extreme that they never make it. So if you want to see change, learn how to start changing at a very micro level, right? Start to do simple things. Start to do something regularly, one step at a time, consistently, right? So practice the change. It might, for some of you, it might look like this, like stop going to that same cafe you go to all the time. You're just so comfortable there. Go to another cafe. Stop going to the cafe where you're like, oh, you charge me $6 for a coffee. I like that. That's a great price. Go somewhere once or twice or thrice or for a month where they charge you $12 for a coffee. Why would you do that, Joseph? That's just a ripoff. No, it will cause your mind to expand a little bit. Why is there a place where someone's willing to pay $12 for that coffee? You will go find out. And it might not be the taste, but you will go find out. There is a reason. Right? And so you start to slowly change something. If you go a certain way to your work every day, take a different route. Just notice what happens in you. Take a different route. Okay. If there are some things that you do all the time, you meet your friends at the same place, go meet somewhere else. Practice a little bit of change. If you do a same kind of workout on the same machine all the time, try something else. Go and do a class, an F45 class or a CrossFit class. You don't have to join it, but just for fun, right? Go and do that. All right. So $12 for a coffee might make you go, that's just insane. Ha ha ha. Yeah, it might be in your world, but there is a world where it's not. You can just sit there and go, they're all stupid. All these people that pay that, they're all dumb. Right? I used to think like that about a lot of designer brands and things. I'm like, you're all dumb. And I didn't realize that my judgment towards their expression of wealth stopped me from stepping into my expression of wealth. So I'm just letting you know, my judgment of other people's expression of wealth. Like if you sit down and you go, oh, that's stupid. You're dumb for doing that. You're dumb for doing that. Somewhere you have this judgment screening in yourself, and you will never allow yourself to step into true wealth and abundance and receive from God, because you're going to judge the heck out of it, just like you're judging Jack and Jill and Bob. But that's a story for another day, right? But change step by step. Do the reps. Do the practice. I want to leave you with this story. There is a guy named Steph Curry. Maybe you know him. Steph Curry plays basketball for the Golden State Warriors. And Steph Curry is he's 6 foot, I think, 6 foot, 6'1". So he's a normal size. Well, he's a big guy, but in the NBA, he's a small guy because everyone else there is, they're all giants. They're all Nephilim. And I'm joking, by the way. and so Steph Curry was a great shooter, a great 3-point shooter. And at one stage, his dad says to him, who was also an NBA player, hey, if you want to make it in the NBA, you can't shoot like this anymore, because he used to shoot from down here, okay, from his chest. And when you were young, you would remember when you're a smaller person, you can't generate enough energy from here. So you have to jump from down here to hit a 3-pointer. And he was really good, but he would shoot from down here. And so his dad is like, if you shoot from down here, they're going to block you really easily. You're not going to make it in the NBA. So his dad's like, you have to change your shot. Change your shot, okay? And he's like, you're going to have to shoot from up here. And so when he first started changing his shot, because change at the beginning sucks. Okay? It sucks. You're not good at what you do for the first time. Now, you might fluke it, but you're not good in general. You get better through practice. So he's shooting and he's really bad at it. And his dad's like, I can't let you play competitive basketball. You won't play competitive basketball till you develop this new shot. So finally, he develops this new shot. But the way he did it was he would shoot 500 shots a day in practice. Not in any of his games, not in any other place, 500 shots a day in practice. And that was his desire, his commitment to make it to his goal. But I just want to show you the power of reps, okay? And so he starts to do that, and it works out that his 500 shots a day, 3,500 shots a week, 14,000 shots a month, 168,000 shots a year. Now, he's been playing in the NBA for 15 years. So that means his practice shots have gotten up to 2.52 million. His practice shots. He's already the greatest three-pointer ever, three-point shooter ever. Okay? He's already that. But his 500 shots a day is now what he's set up for himself. Doing the reps. We always underestimate doing the reps. If you can become a person that learns how to do the reps on a cold day, on a hot day, on a dark day, on a light day, on a good day, on a bad day, on a heavy day, on a crazy day, do the reps. Eventually, what happens is that the thing you are practicing, and in this case, we're talking about allowing yourself to change. The thing you are practicing becomes second nature. I remember watching this shot where he's in the game, right? He's in a game and he closes his eyes because his team's doing well, whatever. He closes his eyes and takes the three-pointer and just turns around. He knows it's gone in and his eyes are closed in an NBA game. How do you come to that point? How do you come to that point? Like, for him to know the feel, and there is a feel when you are moving in God, with God, there is a feel. And people call it flow state. People call it all kinds of stuff. But there is a feel where you just know. When you start practicing, you get to live from that place. You stop having these doubts. Did I, is it the right thing? Is it the wrong thing? Oh, what about my fear? Oh, no, because in him, there is no fear. In him, there is no need for attachment of anything else. In him is all the comfort. But the reps are not always easy. Right? And so in his entire career, he's actually only taken 15,000 shots. But in practice, he's done 2.5 million shots. But in a game, he's only done 15,000. Now, out of that, I think he's got about 3,000 three-pointers, which is something like 0.6% of the shots that he has had in his practice is what he's had in his game. And you know that scripture that what you do in private is what is rewarded in public? Is very apparent with examples like this. And he's not the only one. There's tons of people with amazing examples like this. But doing the reps, showing up daily, showing up, allowing change to happen, right? So I'll leave you with this last thing here. So pick your end goal. And if you haven't got the blueprint, we did a whole blueprint on this for the year. You can check out our blueprint course, do the homework. A lot of people don't like doing the homework. But you pick a goal, you reverse engineer that goal, which means you break it down into small tasks, daily tasks, and then you just commit ruthlessly to that task daily. And that's one of the ways you just do the reps. Do the reps. So bottom line, change is hard because right now we get all our comfort, all our attachment, all our security from things and not him. So when he starts to shake things, it is because he's bringing you back into alignment. If you've ever watched people suddenly feel like they don't have money, they're freaking out because they don't have, something's happening in their money situation. Yeah, God is realigning from the money to him. Well, your home situation, your relationship situation, your inner situation, your confidence situation, all of it, he's realigning you to go from that to him. If you will practice getting your comfort in him, security in him, right? Getting the love from him, your attachment to him, you'll automatically be okay with change. And change is necessary if you're going to come into the fullness of what God has for you. So I hope you got something from this. Now, quickly, can you let me know which one of these are the hardest for you? Is it attachment to things and to people? Is it fear? That you struggle with fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of other people's opinions? Is it comfort? You're very comfortable. You think that comfort is a real thing and you're very comfortable. Or is it that you get your security from your stuff? You get your security from certain environments. You get your security from your current lifestyle. Which one is it? Which one of these is the bigger one for you? Come on, let me know in the comments just as I wrap up. All right, we got fear and comfort. Learning how to identify these things is really powerful because it brings up your awareness and you'll start to catch yourself next time. Fear. All right. For me, attachment. Okay. Fear. So there's a lot of people saying fear. The antidote to fear is perfect love. So what I do and what I have done is every time I face fear, which is a lot, by the way, this is my 151st podcast. I still sometimes have thoughts of, oh man, what if I stuff this up? You understand? What if I'm saying dumb things? So we have these fears. I have fears this year as I start to move into some things he's called me to. I'm afraid. I'm afraid because I don't know how it's going to go, but I was never called to know how it's going to go. I was called to trust him. So what I do when I feel fear, which happens a lot, is in that moment, I take some time to go, Lord, I am feeling fear on this. And I acknowledge the pain. I acknowledge the truth. I don't run from the fear. I acknowledge it. I am afraid that these people are going to judge me. I'm afraid that this guy's not going to be my friend anymore. I'm afraid that I'm going to fall on my face and look like a bum. I tell God straight my fear. And then, Father, I give you full permission to let your perfect love cast out my fear. I give you full permission to train me in living from your love. Because if that happens, I won't live from fear. So all the fear that I feel now is an invitation to go deeper in love. So I don't feel bad that I feel the fear. You know, some people, they feel bad. If you're a performance person, you feel bad that you feel fear. If you're a performance person, you might even act like you never have any issues in your life. All the best with that. But if you understand what I'm saying, so I don't need to feel bad that I feel the fear. I take it to him. And then I replace that with the love. Father, I give you full permission to let your perfect love cast out all my fear. And then I go for it. And I might have to do that 20 times sometimes in a day, 30 times sometimes in a day. I'm scared. How are things going to work out? I have a fear that I'm going to fail. Father, I give you full permission to lavish me with your perfect love. Teach me your perfect love. I want to know your perfect love, that I would be fearless on the earth. All right? It's a great invite. It's a great invite. And so I want to encourage you to make this one of your habits. Right? Make this one of your new practices. Do the reps. Father, I give you full permission. Your perfect love, perfect love, perfect love. And you will start to move and do things. It's going to blow your mind. And we're going to go from glory to glory to glory, strength to strength. Okay. So bless you. Thank you for being honest and telling the truth. Share this with those who you know it will benefit. Tag them, whatever you need to do. Love you lots. And I will see you on the next one.